Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air, proud to support the mission of KPBS and privileged to serve San Diego clients. Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air, helping homeowners maintain drain, heating, and cooling systems since 1978. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marco Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Good evening. It's Thursday, July 15th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Millions of families with children are starting to see increased federal assistance arrive in their bank accounts. Payments for the enhanced child tax credit started going out today. KPBS reporter John Carroll has important details about the credits, including who is eligible.
For every child under the age of 6, a parent will get $3,600 a year. For every child 6 to 17, they'll get $3,000 per year.
President Biden delivered that news today, the day electronic payments started landing in the bank accounts of American families. That's the top line of the federal enhanced child tax credit.
You know, it's going to be huge.
Nancy Sasaki is president and CEO of the United Way of San Diego County, which, among other things, helps low to moderate income families with their taxes.
There's so many things that people need to use this money for in order to continue to survive and thrive in our community.
The child tax credit itself isn't new, but the American Rescue Plan passed back in March included money to boost the credit and to deliver it early in the form of monthly payments. Here's the breakdown on that. Parents will get payments of $300 a month for every child 5 and younger, $250 a month for every child 5 to 17. That's the full amount which single taxpayers making less than $75,000 will get. For joint filers, total income must be less than $150,000 to get the full amount. The payments will end in December.
You need to factor in your tax liability.
Phil Simon is a professional tax preparer based in Lemon Grove. He wants parents to remember that if they were used to getting the previous $4,000 child tax credit, they need to take into account that they'll be getting half of the new credits now in monthly payments and what that will mean come tax time next year.
What that means is that on my 2021 return, there will only be $3,000, and I had $4,000 last year.
Simon's already been fielding other questions like, what if parents are no longer together, but they can both claim a child or children as dependents? He says the IRS has done a good job of answering that and all sorts of questions people might have. Their website is irs.gov. Nancy Sasaki says, along with the United Way, you can also get help by calling 211. They'll put you in touch with someone who can offer free assistance. Finally, one more top-line takeaway. The Biden administration says these enhanced benefits will lift half of American children out of poverty. John Carroll, KPBS News.
And we have some breaking news now. Los Angeles County will once again require everyone to wear masks indoors, regardless of vaccination status. Today, LA County reported 1,537 coronavirus cases. That's the highest number since early March. It's also 3 times higher than when COVID-related restrictions were lifted 1 month ago. The increase is blamed on the Delta variant spreading among unvaccinated people. The mask mandate takes effect just before midnight this Saturday. San Diego County does not have plans to change mask guidance. In a statement to KPBS, officials said the county will continue to follow California Department of Public Health guidance on masking and urges those who are unvaccinated to get vaccinated to protect themselves and others from the spread of COVID-19. Today, San Diego County reported 428 new cases, the highest daily total since March. And with COVID-19 cases rising locally and nationwide, vaccination rates are down. Health experts are getting concerned and are pushing to target vaccine misinformation. Here's reporter Nadia Romero.
As long summer days go on, many had hoped COVID-19 concerns would be a thing of the past. Instead, the Delta variant is spreading rapidly across the country.
Delta is here, Delta is dangerous, and Delta is killing people. this should scare the hell out of you.
Hospitalizations are rising significantly in several states.
The people who are being hospitalized are those who are unvaccinated, and we think that that's come with a lot of the unmasking.
CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky says get vaccinated and wear a mask.
People will take the message, see that they don't want this to go on, and to really go and get vaccinated now so we can prevent what could happen in the fall.
The U.S. Surgeon General stressing that it's crucial to fight misinformation.
You've got to recognize that sometimes the most trusted voices are not the ones that have the most followers on social media or the ones that have the most name recognition. Sometimes the most trusted sources are a mother or a father or a faith leader or a local doctor or a nurse.
And for those working to combat misinformation and encourage vaccinations, the pushback can be extreme. Tennessee's former top vaccine official says before she was fired, someone mailed her a dog muzzle to send her a message.
They obviously didn't know me because they sent me a size 3, which is for beagles, and I'm obviously a pit bull, which requires a size 6.
Fiscus was fired after sending a memo citing a Tennessee law that allows minors to be vaccinated without their parents' permission, as concerns over the Delta variant spread looms over schools reopening this fall. In Washington, Nadia Romero, KPBS News.
For more information about vaccinations and where to get one, you can visit our website, kpbs.org. We've made it easy to find with a vaccines link right on our homepage. San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria and a number of elected officials took time out today to thank San Diegans in the effort to house children at the convention center. More than 3,000 unaccompanied migrant youth were temporarily housed there as they went through the process to be reunited with family in the U.S. The facility is now empty, except for artwork and notes the children left behind.
This was their Ellis Island. This was their Statue of Liberty. This is where they came because they needed help, and San Diegans stepped forward.
And we provided a whole suite of trauma-informed services for the kids, from educational services, legal services, medical, dental, vision screenings.
In all, 3,213 kids are now back with their parents, legal guardians, or other family members across the country. Less than 30 were put into foster care because family could not be found. A new report shows DACA recipients are facing another challenge. According to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services correspondents, roughly 13,000 renewal cases have remained pending for longer than 4 months. It's caused some to lose their jobs and health insurance. The Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program shields undocumented immigrants from deportation and allows them to work legally. Some Democratic lawmakers are asking Homeland Security to look into the backlog. The city of San Diego is taking action to combat the rise in ghost guns. KPBS reporter Melissa May says it includes a proposed new law and a special police team.
California already has laws to regulate ghost guns, but those won't go into effect until July 2022. San Diego Councilwoman Marnie Von Wilpert does not want to wait that long. She is introducing a city ordinance to prohibit the untraceable weapons.
Is to prevent ghost guns from getting in the hands of dangerous people who might threaten themselves, threaten others.
The San Diego Police Department reported a 169% increase in ghost gun usage since 2020 in San Diego. Now the department is starting a 5-member ghost gun team. San Diego Police Captain Matt Novak says this team will conduct proactive ghost gun investigations and assist other departments as well.
We will work as a resource to kind of handle the ghost gun angle of it and make sure that that's taken care of efficiently and that we get as many ghost guns as we can off the street.
SDPD is on track to seize up to 480 ghost guns this year.
These guns are being used in violent crimes and being seized in a lot of our narcotic and gang investigations. So we know that they're being used out there on the street. So they're easy to obtain, pretty easy to assemble, and then they're unserialized and untraceable.
Michael Schwartz of the San Diego County Gun Owners PAC says it's a PR move.
It seems like they're really trying to cover their own failures and incompetence and blaming it on ghost guns or blaming it on firearms.
Von Wilpert is hoping to have her ordinance completed and presented to the City Council by next month. Melissa May, KPBS News.
California lawmakers today approved the first state-funded guaranteed income plan. $35 million will go to programs that provide monthly cash payments to young adults who recently left foster care and pregnant people. Payments range from $500 to $1,000, and there won't be any restrictions on how the money can be spent. Governor Newsom's Clean California initiative is opening thousands of jobs, including some in San Diego. KPBS reporter Alexandra Rangel has more from a job fair that was held today by Caltrans.
Clean California is a $1 billion initiative by the governor to revitalize and clean the state's highways. The project is expected to open 11,000 jobs for Californians, including people who are homeless, veterans, and formerly incarcerated individuals. Gustavo Dallarda is director for Caltrans in San Diego. He says they're looking to hire up to 50 people in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
These entry-level jobs are in the front line in the fight against litter. So some of the people that you see here in line today, tomorrow may be wearing a hard hat and a vest, being our highways, picking up litter and keeping our highways clean.
Sean Rizzuto, division chief for Caltrans San Diego, says these jobs can lead to greater opportunities.
Once you're in with Caltrans in these temporary assignments and these entry-level jobs, then you're able to apply for permanent jobs as they become available.
Wyatt Elliott is a recent political science graduate from San Diego State. He says he was lucky to have a job through the pandemic, but he's looking to start a career with Caltrans.
I'm primarily looking for a government kind of position like liaison or legislature. I saw on their website.
The money will be spent over the next 3 years on litter abatement and beautification projects. Alexandra Rangel, KPBS News.
Evacuation warnings have been issued near the border as Cal Fire battles a wildfire. The fire sparked near Tecate Mission Road, west of Tecate Port of Entry, burning 60 acres. Containment is at 5%, though Cal Fire says crews have stopped the spread. Firefighters attacked the flames from the air and the ground. The cause was determined to be a downed power line in Mexico, right along the border fence that spread to brush on the U.S. side. Firefighters will remain on scene through the evening. Another wildfire is growing not far from the Northern California town of Paradise that was devastated by the Camp Fire. The Dixie Fire has grown to more than 2,200 acres and is 0% contained. Firefighters say the flames are burning away from homes, but survivors of the deadly 2018 fire are worried that history could repeat itself.
Camp Fire, so many of us escape basically with our lives. Seeing the plumes of smoke, it really raises everyone's anxiety level.
And as fires continue burning across California and Pacific Northwest, floods are hitting Arizona. Daryl Forges has more.
Fires on the West Coast continue to wreak havoc.
Been coming in all day, and they'll continue to come in throughout the night.
The Bootleg Fire scorching over 227,000 acres in Oregon. The National Interagency Fire Center reports nearly 1 million acres have been scorched in at least 71 large fires in 12 states.
We're months into a very intense drought, so our fuel conditions are incredibly receptive to fire at this point.
Wildfires further fueled by extreme heat and severe drought. At least 6 states are in 100% drought conditions. Lakes in some areas unrecognizable.
Dry, completely dry. Like, you know, where you see thousands of golden trout, go up there, dirt. Like, it's bad.
Rain in the southwest providing some relief, but the sudden downpour in parts of Arizona Wednesday spurred dangerous flash flooding.
Oh my God!
Parts of the Midwest also overflowing with heavy flooding in Illinois and Wisconsin.
Overnight last night, we really got hit with about 2 3/4 inches of rain, and it came down very hard, very fast. At some points, almost an inch an hour coming down.
Wild storms on Wednesday also delivering torrential rain in Iowa and spawned more than 24 tornadoes across the state. Daryl Forges, KPBS News.
We are getting more seasonable temperatures heading through the next couple of days, which is nice. A little bit of a reprieve for the weekend and plenty of comfort by the coast. However, what we will find is maybe, and this is a big if, question mark at the end here, could we see some small rain chances by next week? They'd be spotty at best. We'll talk more on that in a moment. But first, Let's talk about what's going on tonight. Tonight, the marine layer still comes in places like Oceanside, falling to the mid-60s. For San Diego itself, upper 60s, and then Mount Laguna, upper 60s for you too. So we will have some of those impacts of the marine layer. Comes in as it seems to always for this time of year, with just a few low clouds out there. Nothing overly prominent and not as strong as some of our deeper layers earlier on in the season. So Friday, not much changing here. You'll notice the shower thunderstorm activity still around the Four Corners. That's where they'll see the heavy rainfall and even the risk for flash flooding. We stay largely dry. Tomorrow, it's going to be 76 in the city as you head towards Chula Vista, 76 there too, and into Borrego Springs, 109 for that high with more sunshine breaking out there. So what does change? Well, this weekend, the high does intensify, strengthen a little bit, and once it does that, you'll notice that scattered shower thunderstorm activity starts to pivot a little bit more. And there could be the chance that a little bit of this moisture breaks across around the base of that high and does try to form over some of our mountains here in Southern California. Spotty at best, but something to keep an eye on nonetheless into next week. For now, though, I do think we're dry through the weekend with sun and clouds out there. Sunday in the upper 70s for some of the coast. Still feeling pretty nice and seasonable for this time of year. Inland locations holding on to the mid 80s. Nice day for Saturday if you're out and about with sunshine out there and pretty quiet conditions. Now, mountains, more like the 70s and even lower 70s. Have to watch out. Maybe that stray thunderstorm chance comes in as early as Sunday here for some of those mountain locations, but again, limited in activity, and desert locations holding on around 100 degrees. For KPBS News, I'm meteorologist Melissa Constanzer.
The California drought could shut down a power plant north of Sacramento. The Lake Oroville facility usually provides enough electricity for 800,000 homes. As Lisa Mitri reports, it can't do that if the water pumping through it gets too low to turn the turbines.
This is what Lake Oroville would normally look like. This is July 2018, a busy summer out here for boaters. But today, the water is so low, most of the boat ramps are closed.
I'm seeing islands out on the lake that I've never seen before. I've been fishing this lake since the 80s.
This is the state's second largest reservoir, supplying water and power to Californians. The water gets pumped underground, generating electricity at the Edward Hyatt power plant.
Normally it will range between 100 to 400 megawatts depending on what the water conditions are.
The water is at 667 feet of elevation right now, and that's about a third of where it should be this time of year. If you can look, you see those dry ridges on the edge where the lake used to reach.
As we look at lake elevations, we do think that they'll get down to around 640, 630 feet, which is the point where that generation would eventually be reduced down to zero.
Possibly by September, he says, shutting down the power plant for the first time since its creation in 1967. That has some concern about impacts on the state's power grid.
Potentially for all of us living in the North State, perhaps even Sacramento being impacted by potential rolling blackouts. And that is a real possibility.
The Department of Water Resources says it's coordinating with CalISO so it knows how much, or rather how little power to expect from here so it can plan for that. And CalISO tells us it has, already using other avenues to get more energy into the market in the late afternoon and evening when the grid is at greatest risk.
Researchers at the UC San Diego Nanotechnology Lab have found a way to create energy without lifting a finger. The little strip made of carbon foam electrodes turns sweat on your fingertips into energy enough to power a watch. Yu Lin, one of the developers of the device, says it could also measure glucose, sodium, alcohol, or drug levels in your body and more.
The enzymes can break down the lactate in your sweat, which you actually have a lot of, and then that can generate energy. It's very light.
The lab has been working with sweat energy for a decade, but earlier devices needed intense physical activity. This strip works when a person is sitting still or even sleeping. Lin says it's still a few years away from widespread use. Gay bars are back as California lifts COVID restrictions and the annual Pride celebration comes to town. KPBS's Katie Stiegel says these longstanding safe havens of the LGBTQ community are re-emerging after a year in which many feared they would go under.
It was mid-June, 2 days after California lifted its COVID restrictions, and the crowd at the rail was ready to celebrate after a long 16 months. It's been a hard road back. San Diego's oldest gay bar has survived attacks from law enforcement, the HIV/AIDS epidemic, and most recently, the COVID-19 lockdowns. The low point for some business owners came when 2020's Pride was canceled. That's when the rail's owner, Gail Santillan, thought the run might be over.
And that, to me, was like the harder blow, not just COVID. It was losing Pride. And losing Pride to anyone in this neighborhood, business-wise, is huge. We bank on that entire week. It's just bigger than most people can imagine.
Santillan made the best of the downtime. While the rail was closed, she did some minor repairs and made an effort to take care of the staff. She made them meals each day until they were on unemployment. Santillan also received a PPP loan, and her landlords helped her work out a plan to stay open. But she says there were moments when she considered closing for good.
I would come in, walk around the bar and go, oh God, I can't do this. And just walk out the door in tears. Just because I still didn't know. None of us knew. Sorry. But it's over. It's over. We hope it's over. We're past it. Everyone's healthy.
Not all gay bars made it through last year's gauntlet. The owners of Martinis Above 4th, a lounge known for its specialty drinks and live performances, announced in October they were declaring bankruptcy. But overall, San Diego's LGBTQ establishments have shown remarkable resilience. Paul Detweiler produced the documentary San Diego's Gay Bar History. He says that may be because LGBTQ folks depend on the bar scene for a lot more than just drinking.
Gay bars are culturally different than straight bars because they're sanctuary, safe havens for people that have typically experienced a lot of prejudice and discrimination growing up, which is something that the straight population hasn't experienced, being the majority demographic.
Most importantly, they've served as the hubs of the gay rights movement dating back to the 1960s. Protests, awareness campaigns, and even San Diego's first Pride were conceived in the dark and dusty corners of these clubs.
Before the different levels of government stepped up and assisted with HIV and AIDS and stuff, the community did it themselves. And so that's a reason that an older generation of LGBT people really have that fond spot in their heart for bars.
But while LGBTQ people today have been able to emerge from the shadows in ways that might have been inconceivable a generation ago, gay bars are still essential for the community. Alan Torres, who's come to the rail for roughly 6 years, says they remain a big part of his comfort zone.
I feel more comfortable with myself and my partner. For lack of a better word, yeah, it's home, you know? We can't behave the same in the straight bar. It's like comparing going here to somewhere in downtown. For me, going to a Latin night in like at the rail, you know, in Hillcrest is not the same as going to like Onyx, you know, downstairs. Whereas another Latin night, which I like, but it's not the same as coming in here.
Torres and many others are excited about Pride 2021, which is happening this week. Organizers have put together a full slate of events that should keep gay bars packed throughout the weekend. For KPBS News, I'm Katie Stiegel.
The entertainment industry is making a comeback with more streaming platforms. The consumption of movies and TV series are in high demand across the country. Daryl Forges takes us behind the scenes.
It's a busy day at Trilith Studios in Fayetteville, Georgia. This massive property is known for some big productions, including Marvel movies like The Avengers. Right now, many of the productions going on here are top secret.
For the movie business at large, it's a historic time. We've never been so busy.
Every day I'm hustling.
Sandy Bigelow, Patterson.
Trilith isn't alone. Just up the interstate is Eagle Rock Studios.
I can't keep up with the calls that are coming in right now, honestly.
This studio is home to several TV and streaming service series.
I convinced my ownership to let us go out and try to find another property to purchase. Luckily, we found one just a mile down the street.
The demand is high due to more streaming platforms and the appetite for more content. But at the beginning of the pandemic, these busy halls were empty.
The building went dark, literally. We all walked away from it, didn't touch a doorknob.
Many had no idea what was next.
We wanted to help our friends
and family get back to work. People needed jobs.
In May of last year, the Georgia Film, Music, and Entertainment Office released their best practice guide against COVID-19, followed by the unions and other companies. Once safety protocols were in place, the industry got a big boost from members of the Motion Picture Association of America.
They made a commitment to return to Georgia to spend $2 billion in the state on 75,000 productions over the next 18 months.
These last few years, it's almost like I can feel you holding your breath.
They also committed to hiring over 17,000 Georgia small businesses. Before you knew it, it was lights, camera, and action once again.
I'm done running.
In Atlanta, I'm Daryl Forges reporting.
The youngest person ever to fly to space will join Jeff Bezos on July 20th. 18-year-old Oliver Damon wasn't originally set to be on the trip, but Blue Origin says the mystery bidder who paid $28 million for the seat had scheduling conflicts, so they bumped up Damon, whose father had bought him a seat on the second flight. Blue Origin did not disclose how much he paid. The original winner will fly on a future mission. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org. Thank you for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Have a great evening.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air, proud to support the mission of KPBS and privileged to serve San Diego clients. Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air, helping homeowners maintain drain, heating, and cooling systems since 1978. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marco Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Rich people.